As many people globally are facing the COVID-19 pandemic, navigating this ever-evolving world can be challenging for many. However, in the last several months, we've learned that by taking certain measures and precautions, businesses, schools, even movie theaters can reopen, as long as the health and safety of all individuals is the top priority. A wedding is no different. Weddings, of course, will not be the same as we're used to, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't celebrate one of the most special and meaningful moments in a person's life and those they are closest to. How would one make this happen? Planning. All it takes is planning and having the right protocols in place before and during the wedding. When planning a wedding, the CDC recommends to keep the event small and intimate and to consider an outdoor venue for better airflow. Also, always keep guests from different households spaced 6 feet apart, and everyone should wear masks at all times except when eating or drinking. Before the wedding takes place, consider what needs to be done in preparation for the wedding. The wedding venue, for example, now have special protocols and safety measures in place. They have made several changes that impact setup, seating arrangements, food service, and other important details, so be sure to ask about them. Once you have a clear understanding, share this information with your guests and vendors so they know what to expect before the day of the wedding. One of the most important things that venues are responsible for is the sanitation and cleanliness of the venue. Furniture and all high-touch items should be properly cleaned with approved chemicals and disinfectants just before the event. The setup team should wear a mask, wash their hands frequently, and wear gloves, especially when setting linens, favors, and other wedding items guests will come into contact with. Another important thing to consider is to have professional wedding vendors assist you with your wedding. Wedding coordinators especially will play a major role on helping to put all the pieces together, including the new protocols before your wedding day. When the wedding vendors arrive for setup, have someone conduct temperature checks upon entry and remind them to wear a mask at all times. While getting ready, vendors such as hair and makeup artists should wear masks and a shield and only allow one person in the space at a time. When guests arrive, it is important to have signs at the entry advising guests to wear masks and to keep socially distant from one another. Having floor stickers in front of the line helps keep guests 6 feet apart while waiting to enter. Temperature checks for guests should take place before allowing guests in. Also, have hand sanitizer and extra masks available in case guests forget to bring theirs. For a contact-less experience, create a seating chart and advise guests to take a photo so they remember where their seats are located. It is also a good idea to have an escort show guests to their seat, which helps to minimize mingling and close interactions. At the ceremony, have assigned seating with the name cards so guests know where to sit. Guests who are not from the same household should be seated a minimum of 6 feet away from one another, and all guests and vendors, including the minister, should wear a mask during the ceremony. The bride and groom should stand 6 feet away from everyone, especially when saying their vows and exchanging rings without their masks on. Following the ceremony, have the minister or MC dismiss guests by rows to the reception area to keep everyone spaced apart. At the reception, guest tables are set at least 6 feet apart, and the chairs are set with plenty of space between guests or between households. Venues may provide a variety of different table arrangements, so be sure to check what your setup options are. Like the ceremony, name cards are very helpful for guests to find their seat easily. When setting a guest table, it is best to minimize items and not set silverware, glassware, or napkins as in the past. Instead, have a gloved server place rolled silverware and water glass in front only after the guest is seated. Having signs on the tables will help guests to know what to expect once they are seated. Masks should be worn at all times, however, it may be removed when eating and drinking. Speaking of eating and drinking, we all know food is one of the most important parts of a celebration. While plated or served meals are highly recommended, buffets and action stations are still possible. Sneeze guards should be set to keep food safe, and all foods should be served by a masked and gloved attendant. What's a wedding without photos? While picture taking with large groups of people is not recommended, consider taking photos by household or table. Remember, it's okay to leave your masks on for photos, but if you remove them, be sure to put them back on immediately after the photo. Many couples include a formal program following dinner. Things like toasting the bride and groom, cake cutting, watching a video, and a bride and groom first dance, which are all okay to do. However, guests dancing, bouquet and garter toss, or anything anything that involves groups of people being close together are not going to be okay. As a rule of thumb, keep formal programs short and sweet. Weddings are already a memorable experience. Everyone will want to relax and have fun during a wedding, all while enjoying their time together.